Let's get brutally real for a second. Your mind is either your ultimate weapon or your personal wrecking ball. Honestly, it's both. This thing between your ears has built entire worlds before you've even had your first coffee. It's created wild dreams, invented irrational fears, told you strange stories, even full-blown conspiracy theories about your own life. And here's the truth. Every single day, whether you notice it or not, your mind is choosing what kind of life you get to live. Think about that, let it hit you. Because that one decision you made last month that pushed you forward, that was your mindset. That night you spent 5 hours scrolling on your phone until you felt empty and frustrated. That was your mindset too. It never stops working. No breaks, no holidays, no pause button, just constant influence. And here's the part that's hard to hear, but you absolutely need to. Your mentality right now is either making you unstoppable or it's slowly chewing holes in your potential like a termite at an all-you-can-eat buffet. There is no middle ground, no neutral setting. Your mind is not sitting back quietly. It's always doing something, and if you're not actively building it, if you're not strengthening it, if you're not sharpening it, then it's breaking down, quietly, slowly, just like that gym membership you were excited about in January and completely forgot by February. But there's good news. If mental strength is a muscle, this video is your perfect gym session, and we're starting now. No fluff, no excuses, just truth. So let me ask you one real question. If life came swinging at you tomorrow, are you ready to swing back? I lost my job, not because I was lazy, not because I wasn't good enough. It was just one of those decisions they call business restructuring, and my name happened to be on the list. At first, I told myself it was fine. I said I'd take a short break, reset, then bounce back. Day 1, I woke up early, made coffee, and opened my laptop like I had a plan. Day 3, I was still in the same hoodie, lying on the couch, watching the ceiling, convincing myself I was just resting. By the end of week 1, I had avoided 3 calls from friends, ignored 2 emails from recruiters, and spent more time choosing what to binge on Netflix than figuring out what to do with my life. That's when the voice started. The quiet one in the back of my head, the one that whispers, maybe you're not cut out for this, maybe you've peaked, maybe this is all there is. And here's the part that hit me the hardest. It wasn't just the job I had lost. I was slowly losing trust in myself. The longer I waited to take action, the heavier everything felt, even the small stuff. Answering a text, taking a shower, saying yes to dinner with friends. I kept pretending like everything was fine. I smiled when people asked how I was doing. I said things like, just taking some time to figure things out. But every night I was alone with my thoughts, and those thoughts were not kind. It didn't take long before I started comparing. I saw people I used to work with landing better roles, sharing shiny updates on LinkedIn, launching businesses, moving forward. I was moving nowhere. And then came the shame. Not loud, not dramatic. Just this slow, quiet wave that made me shrink without even noticing. I started avoiding mirrors, avoiding people, avoiding myself. I wasn't sad all the time. That's what made it confusing. I wasn't falling apart in public. But inside, it felt like something had disconnected, like I was drifting further and further away from the person I used to be. And still, I told myself the same lie. I'll get back to it when I feel ready. But deep down, I knew. I wasn't building anything. I wasn't training my mind. I was letting it fall apart. No one taught me that mental strength is just like physical strength. It's a muscle, and if you stop using it, it starts to break down. No one told me that the longer you sit in your comfort zone, the harder it is to climb out. We think we're just taking a break, but what we're really doing is training ourselves to stay stuck, and it's not because we're broken. It's not because we're weak. It's because we've never learned how to train the one thing that controls everything else, our mindset. So if you're in that place right now, feeling off, stuck, maybe even embarrassed to admit how lost you feel, I want you to know something. You're not alone and you're not beyond repair. You're just mentally out of shape, and that's okay, because today we start training. The biggest trap I ever fell into was thinking my mind was supposed to be neutral, like it would just sit there quietly unless something went wrong. But that's not how it works. My mind is always doing something, always shaping the way I see myself. Always influencing how I act, how I feel, how I show up. It never sleeps. And if I'm not training it, it's training me, usually in the wrong direction. See, mental strength isn't built when life is calm and easy. It's not built when my to-do list is manageable and my horoscope tells me good things are coming. That's comfort. That's maintenance mode. Real mental strength is built in the chaos. It's built when I'm sitting in front of a rejection email and still show up the next day. It's built when I'm scrolling through someone else's perfect life and stop myself before I start spiraling. It's built when I catch that voice in my head trying to pull me back into smallness and I say no. That voice, by the way, is sneaky. It doesn't shout, it whispers. And worst of all, it sounds exactly like me. It knows my fears, my doubts. My patterns, and it uses them against me. Psychology calls this cognitive distortion. These are mental shortcuts that our brains use to protect us from risk or failure, but in reality, they protect us from growth. Like when I told myself, let's wait until everything is perfect before I start. That's perfectionism, but it felt responsible. Or when I said, I've been working hard, I deserve a break. That's the excuse machine. But it felt like self-care. Or when I thought, why even try, I'm already so far behind everyone else. That's comparison, but it felt like reality. These thoughts aren't just annoying, they're dangerous because they feel true. And if I don't learn how to recognize them, they become my default setting, the station my brain tunes into without me even realizing. The thing is, those thoughts don't go away on their own. There's no off switch. No level of success that silences them forever. But here's what does change. Me. The more I train my mind to notice those thoughts, name them, and move anyway, the less power they have. It's like building a muscle. The first few reps are shaky. I second-guess myself. I want to quit. But over time, I get stronger, more stable, more in control. That's what mental toughness actually is. It's not being fearless. It's doing what needs to be done even when the fear is loud. It's showing up when no one is clapping, following through when no one is watching, choosing discipline over comfort again and again until it becomes who I am. And the moment I started treating my mind like something I needed to train, not something that should magically fix itself, everything changed. I stopped waiting to feel motivated. I stopped needing to be confident first. I started doing the thing, even with the doubt, even with the fear, even with the voice whispering maybe you're not good enough, because now I know that voice isn't truth, it's just old programming. It's the scared version of me trying to protect me from disappointment, but I'm not here to play it safe. I'm here to grow, and growth is uncomfortable on purpose. So no, I don't wait for that voice to disappear. I let it speak. And then I move anyway. Every time I do that, I get stronger, not just mentally, emotionally, spiritually, internally, because real strength isn't loud, it's quiet, it's built in the dark, when no one is cheering. When the only person you have to impress is the one in the mirror. And that person deserves a mind that doesn't fall apart every time life gets hard. So I train, every day. Here's the part that changed everything for me. I used to think mental toughness was something people were born with, like some people just naturally had it and others didn't. But that's not true. Mental toughness is something you build. One habit at a time, one decision at a time, and if you want to build it, you need to train it like a muscle. Here's how I started. First, I gave the voice in my head a name. I stopped pretending it was me. I started seeing it as a character, one that shows up every time I'm about to do something hard. When it said, maybe you should wait until you're more ready, I'd say, thanks for your opinion, but I'm doing it anyway. When it said, you've already failed so many times, why try again, I'd respond, that's not your decision to make. Naming that voice doesn't silence it, but it gives me space, space to act, space to stay in control. Second, I committed to one hard thing every day. Not a long list, not a full reinvention, just one thing, one workout I didn't feel like doing, one uncomfortable conversation I'd been avoiding. One moment of stillness where I didn't reach for my phone. Each time I told myself the same thing. This is training. This is the rep. Not everything had to be perfect. It just had to be done. Third, I stopped negotiating with myself in the moment. I realized that if I waited until I felt motivated, I'd never do anything. So I set my actions in advance. I told myself the truth. You're going to want to quit. You're going to want to skip this, and when that happens, do it anyway. Discipline isn't about feeling like doing the thing. It's about doing it when you don't feel like it at all. That's where the growth happens. That's when the muscle is built. Fourth, I celebrated the invisible wins, not the big flashy achievements, but the quiet ones. The morning I got out of bed when I wanted to sleep in. The time I wrote one paragraph instead of waiting for inspiration. The moment I walked away from something that would have drained me. Each one of those is a brick in the foundation of who I'm becoming. And lastly, I stopped trying to be perfect. That voice in my head still tries to tell me I should wait until things are fully figured out before starting. But I've learned that waiting for perfect is just another form of fear. So now, I move fast, I move messy, I move forward. Because progress beats perfection. Every time. I'm not here to win a fake game of looking good. I'm here to get stronger, for real. And strength is built in the reps. The ones no one sees, the ones I don't get credit for. The ones I do anyway, because that's how I prove to myself that I can be trusted. And that trust becomes confidence. Confidence that doesn't depend on the outcome. Confidence that isn't shaken when life hits hard. That's the kind of mindset I'm building, and it starts with the habits I choose today. Let me be clear, I didn't become mentally strong overnight. There wasn't one big moment where I suddenly had it all together. No dramatic breakthrough, no magic transformation. It happened in small choices. One honest conversation with myself at a time, one rep at a time, one moment where I didn't listen to the voice in my head and moved anyway. That's how the shift began, and it's still happening. I still hear the voice, I still feel the fear. I still catch myself wanting to shrink, to play it safe, to disappear. But now I don't follow those thoughts. I see them, I name them, and I keep going, because the goal isn't to silence them. The goal is to move anyway. So if you're sitting there wondering when it's going to get easier, here's the truth. It might not. Life doesn't get easier. You get stronger. You get better at carrying the weight, at bouncing back, at holding your ground when everything tries to knock you down. And that version of you, the one who doesn't fold under pressure, the one who moves even when afraid, the one who keeps going when everything says stop. That version is already inside you. It's not about becoming someone new. It's about becoming someone real, someone who owns their mind instead of being owned by it. So let me ask you one more time. If life came swinging at you tomorrow, would you be ready to swing back? Because this right here, this moment, is your starting point. Not tomorrow, not Monday, not when you feel ready. Now, so build it. One rep, one habit. One small act of courage at a time. Because if mental strength is a muscle, this is your gym. And today you just showed up.